Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red. We'll be bringing you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific North, fresh from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The sweet, sweet Mariners, baby.
Mariners just finished their opening series against the Guardians. Come out even, but are in every game, or like yesterday with the big blowout. We'll break down the games that were, and then some of the top hitters and pitchers, go with our picks to click, and then talk about the upcoming battle against the Yankees and Angels. But before we do that, we'll tell you a little bit about us. If you're looking for a guy that is dialed in on game one as much as the last one, and it's been a long time coming to have the Mariners back. It just didn't feel like it. But if you're looking for a guy that's juiced about it, you're looking for a guy like me, your boy Coach Red. You can find me on X at the real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. And if you're looking for a guy that is a walking noise complaint during Mariner season, I'm surprised he has not broken HOA violations and had the police called on him every other night. It's Cade.
Yep, I'm Kane. You can find me over on Twitter at Kane2406, TikTok Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Falls. Do it, freaking do it. Funny story about that, real quick. uh, Whenever my buddy is on patrol out in my area, he does flick on the lights when he gets here. He shines his flashlight through my window and he freaks my neighbors out every single time. So a cop does come to my house in uniform. Just he just says what's up because he's my buddy.
Hmm,
You thought the actual police came to my apartment, huh?
wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, you would.
So Mariners started off opening day, Logan Gilbert on the bump, and end up losing the game 6-4. Uh,
Here.
huh?
Ooh, I was going. Weird things happening on your end.
No, they're happening on your end from my side. So, lose 6-4. You did see the long ball in full effect in this game. Um,
Yes.
Breakout game for Chase DeLauder on the other side, but you had Brendan Donovan in his first at bat as a Mariner goes yard. You have Dominic Canzone going yard in this game. You have Luke Rayleigh going yard in this game, and for good measure, Canzone, if it was nice once, it's always nice twice.
And
So,
he hit it to the same spot practically.
right center.
Just blasting, dude.
Yeah, Mariners clawed their way back, but just couldn't.
And Logan looked stellar.
It looked solid.
Yeah. Good start, opening day start from him, I believe. I think he gave up what, two?
I believe he was credited with three. Three
Yep.
earnings,
Yep. Okay. Okay.
7 Ks. But it's a team that typically does not hit the long ball, and Delauder really kind of stepped up for them in that regard in this game. And it's really what propelled them to a victory. It's tough for the Mariners starting off with a team that can be a little bit of a kryptonite for them, especially in their own home ballpark. Cleveland has been traditionally a very high bat to ball and rely on a strong
Hmm.
rotation. The Mariners also rely on a strong rotation. I'd say that the Cleveland Guardians have a little bit higher upside overall in their bullpen, which was on display throughout the course of the weekend as well. But Mariners are going to rely on the long ball a little bit more, which is going to be a lot more boom or bust. Where a team like the Guardians is going to be pesky and put the ball in play, and with them being able to put the ball over the fence, uh, really helped accelerate and probably put them in a spot to be in a position to come away with the whole series win going into Sunday. But the Mariners played well, especially when we go to game two. Game two, Mariners win 5-1. You've got DeLauter hitting another homer off George Kirby in the first. But after that, you've got Cole Young with the 3-run homer and Luke Raley with the 2-run homer. And Luke Raley, just like DeLauter hitting homers in the first two games. Uh, you get good length out of George Kirby. You go 6 innings, and then you turn it over to Bizardo, Brash, and Munoz to get you out of there with the dub.
Mhm. And dude, Zardo looking good still.
Yep. Then you had the up and down game going into extras in game three. Mariners lose 6-5. And once you got to extras, it was a run scoring effect. Julio against Kate Smith clutches up in the ninth to tie it up to put it into extras. Um, Quan lays down a bunt. Brendan Donovan makes that ill-advised throw over to first.
Yeah.
But then the Lauder ends up going yard anyways. Next inning, Luke Raley again. The Lauder and Luke Raley were just going toe for toe the first three games on who can put the ball out of the park the most. But in this game, Brian Wu, you get good length in this game. Getting 6 innings out of a starter in opening weekend, I think, is solid. With Brian Wu, he had 9 Ks, 1 walk, gave up the 2 runs, but gave them the opportunity to win.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we
Yeah,
will.
you saw. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope.
We'll talk about it. In a minute.
All right, last game. Something you love to see. The only game that was completely out of hand. Mariners win 8-0 on the back of Emerson Hancock. Career high 9 strikeouts, goes 6 innings, 1 walk. I think he also had a hit by pitch, and he gave up 0 hits over those 6 innings. He had baffled a Guardians lineup that had been pesky all weekend, and then you really got into seeing the Mariners just tack stuff on.
Bottom
Right.
of the lineup was huge the entire weekend.
Yeah. Donovan goes yard again in this game. A
Yeah.
guy that had 10 homers all of last year is already at 2. Luke Raley had 4 last year. He's already at 3. Cal Raleigh records his first hit the campaign in this game. So things really started clicking in that last
Mhm.
game to in the Seattle Steelhead jerseys.
Yeah. Saw lots of good things out of the team. As I touched on, bottom of the lineup kind of dominated, it seemed. You had your 7, 8, 9 hitters really dialed in. The triple out of Leo Rivas, so unexpected.
Well, it was also a funky way to get a triple.
Yeah. Cole Young was just not that he was otherworldly, right? Clutch. He came up very clutch in big situations. And that's what you like to see out of him. And then who's the Canzone 7 hitter?
Mhm.
Saw really good at bats through Canzone almost all weekend, right? The day he had 2 home runs, came down to him to end the game, roped a ball up the middle, but there's a shift in play. I mean, it was over 100 off the bat, I believe. But barrel speed for him was awesome. Middle of the lineup didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, since I'm not going to talk about him in the top, it is something that bears addressing. Um, 2, 3, 4 hitters were Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Josh Naylor. Over the course of the 4 game series, they were combined 3 for 45. Did have a couple of RBI sprinkled in there, but Julio, I believe, was the first one to get a knock, and that was late in the game on
Mm-hmm. In the night.
Sunday in the ninth or Saturday, and then you had Cal Raleigh tacked on a couple of hits, and Josh Naylor is still searching for that first base hit of the
Yeah,
season. But
Naylor got Marine layered.
But we do have a lot of good hitters that we can talk about right now. And let's start off with the newest face in town, Brendan Donovan. 429 average over the weekend, six hits, two homers, a double, and four RBIs for him over the four-game clip.
And he's a true leadoff dude. He is walking, drawing out lengthy at bats, uh, putting the ball in play, even if it's on like a little half swing that he puts down the third base line.
For a double.
Yeah, like the dude is kind of complete ball player. Yeah, he had the error, but all in all, it's been nothing but positive from him. It's great to see. I'm glad Dan put him back up there today against the lefty, but I like to see him in the leadoff spot. I think that's where he belongs, lefty or righty. You adjust your lineup accordingly when you give him a day off.
Another guy that came out hot and is also taking his walks. It's Randy Arozarena, 308,
Yes,
308 average, four hits, two doubles, two RBIs.
dude,
And
Randy's
still a menace when he's out on the base paths.
locked. He's locked in right now. He is locked in. It is almost barrel city for him right now. But the worst part is just going right to somebody or getting marine layered. That's fun.
All right, next guy we've got is Dom Canzone, right at his clip from last year. 300 average. He had three hits, two homers, one double, and you know what we've become accustomed to with Dom Canzone, solo homers, two
Solo
RBIs.
homers. Yep. That's all he does.
Um, Next guy that's been uh, probably the biggest catalyst for this team so far in the early stages. It's Luke Raley, 286 average, four hits, three homers, six RBIs. The power's back. He's really slugging the ball very well and doing it in the clutch times, right? With runners in scoring
Yes.
position.
Yeah, no. Nuke Rayleigh's been fun to watch. And yes, they are some wall scrapers, but a healthy Luke Rayleigh is so good for this team with the hustle and the heart that he has.
Yeah, it shows you last year with the injury bug that hit him that last year was fluke Rayleigh.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, the last guy that batted above 200 for the Mariners this week
Oh
is Cole
boy.
Young, 214, three hits, one double, one homer, and three RBIs.
Like I said, it wasn't anything to write home about, but it was in the biggest moments, right? He doubled in the ninth. He sets up to be the tying run for Julio's game tying single, right? He hit the 3-run homer against Gavin Williams, and that's the one thing everyone is like, oh, he hit the fastball. Oh boy. And he crushed it. So get like Cole Young breakout season incoming.
All right, we'll head over to the pitchers. We'll start off with the one reliever that I'm going to talk about. Actually, I'll sprinkle in a second one, just but I didn't write his stuff down. Um, your main players, your guys that have been out there for a couple of games, Bizardo, Spire, and Munoz, all gave up some runs. So as a reliever, you got to have a 0 ERA on the week and at least more than one appearance. That's why Matt Brash isn't being highlighted here. The most unlikely of guys, Casey Legumina, 0
Wild.
ERA, two innings pitched in two appearances. A couple other guys that had an inning or less that I didn't qualify on this, but we'll give a shout out to Cooper Criswell for coming in after Emerson Hancock and really shutting the door. I think he got five Ks in and actually gets the first save for the Mariners.
Yeah.
So when he came in, it was technically close enough for a save situation. So your first save, as we all expected, not Andres Munoz, but Cooper Criswell.
Love it. Love that.
But let's talk about the guys that really kind of set the table for the team. Start off with Emerson Hancock, six innings pitched, gets the win on the day, gave up 0 runs, 0 hits, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. And the fastball, even though the velocity was coming down later, it was just pretty tough to hit. And you're seeing him come, at least when I was listening to the commentary and Ryan Roland Smith on the Peacock broadcast, he came in with the new mentality. This is uh, the first real good opportunity that he has to. He's been with this team to break camp before, but he knows that he's got a little bit of some time until Bryce Miller is going to be ready. He made the most of that opportunity.
I'll tell you, he had the bullpen mentality in the first inning because he was ramping up to 96, 97. And I was monitoring it, and then he kind of stayed at 93 to 94, which when he was putting guys away on that fastball, and that thing just kept rising. I got there's something new out of him, right? The sweeper was used, I believe, 29% yesterday, and oh boy, he fooled Cal. That he was nasty. And what he struck out J Ram. Yeah.
Well, he struck out a slew of people, racking up 9 over 6. But just a great outing from him. And the night before, or 2 nights before, George Kirby comes out there, gives up 1 run in the first. I think he only gave up 2 hits total on the day. Couple of walks back to back that's uncharacteristic, but 6 Ks gets you 6 innings, gets you the dub in his opener. And like I said, he's a guy that I think has a big year ahead of him. And you really saw Logan, you saw a little bit of what you saw last year, but in Kirby and Wu, you also saw a lot of what they can bring when they're at the top of their game, right?
Hmm.
Speaking of Wu, 6 innings pitch, 2 runs, giving up 9 Ks, 1 walk. You know, his ability to get deeper into games is just something that the Mariners need, especially early in the season. You saw it throughout this whole weekend, getting right around 6. I think Logan got you 5 and 2/3. I don't know if he got all the way to 6,
Yeah,
but
you got to. I think you got to six.
well, 6 innings out of all your starters is huge over opening weekend.
Let me
And
check.
I think that that sets them up well.
No, five
You've
and a third. Sorry.
so, but got some tough matchups coming up. You got the Yankees who did well in their first series and are going to be a playoff contender. You have the Angels who had a pot start winning their first 2 games before coming up with the split. A team that you don't expect to rattle off many back-to-back wins on the year, if we're being completely honest. But you do get the Yankees at home this time of year, probably best when the ball's not able to fly necessarily as far. And going getting the Angels early and hopefully going down there and taking care of business. But we kind of talked about the top players for this last week. So we will go into next week and talk about Kane, who is your pick to click for the pitchers?
This week we got probably Castillo throwing twice, and I think that's it. I
Yep.
think that's it on the week. Give me George Kirby Tuesday against the Yankees.
He's going to be Wednesday.
Oh, he's gonna be Wednesday. Do they have what?
Logan Gilbert's going to throw
Oh
Tuesday.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I forgot it's Monday. My bad. Wednesday. Yeah. Give me Furious George again against the Yankees lineup.
The only thing that he was the guy that I highlighted as well, just because I do think that he is a very good player. And I think that he's going to do well. What I don't love about it is it's a day game start and kind of luckily it's at home, which makes it nice. But at the same time, you've seen Kirby in some of those different situations messing with time schedule, especially early on in the year. Saw it a couple years back where he came off an electric, opening start and then a not so good start in the getaway game. But
Huh?
Kirby was right there for me. Um, Next guy that I'm gonna go with is Brian Wu. Going back to
Like
California,
it.
pitches well down there. I think that having him lining up in the same spot against the Angels number three, which is I think Reed Detmers in that game. The Mariners have done pretty well against Reed Detmers, and I think if you can get a good strong six out of Wu again, that you're going to be in a very good spot to really set the tone for the start of that series to hopefully go ahead and take it while you're down there.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you got for your hitter?
Give me Brendan Donovan, dude. The dude has been electric so far. He's getting on base. It's what you like to see out of your leadoff guy. The hat on bottom of the lineup's been getting on. He's been driving dudes in too. So give me BD this week. I expect him to keep having a good week, and he's just the type of player that this team needed. So, Coach Red, who's your pick to click for your hitter this week?
Can I pick a platoon position group, or do I have to
Sure.
pick one person?
I mean, it is your show.
That's true.
So,
I'm gonna take right field. I'm gonna take Victor Robles and Luke Raley. I was gonna lean more Luke Raley on this week just to build off what he did, but you do face three lefty starters this week, so you're gonna see a lot of Robert F. Snyder. You're gonna see a lot of Victor Robles. Um, but I do think Robles in the game that he started against lefty on Saturday night, you saw some good things. He ropes a double in that game. He plays well in the outfield, and you're seeing the same thing with Luke Raley. And I think that if you can generate a lot out of that 6-7 spot, right, they're going to be in a good spot to really turn that lineup over and get back to your big boppers. I was half tempted to go Julio because when I pick Julio, he usually has a big week. You are banned from ever picking Julio for your pick to click for the
yep,
week.
that's
So
true.
that is fact for the
Can't I
long run.
can't go to Cal yet. I can't go to Cal yet. I gotta get him a little warmer. Gotta get him a little warmer. So
That's going to wrap up Mariners news, but we do have to talk about something that happened last week that we omitted. Um,
yeah,
there's some big Seahawks news. Big signing happened, and it was getting Jake Bobo back on a 2 year,
yeah,
5.5, matching the deal that the Jags threw out there. And when you talk about what Jake Bobo brings, I think it's multifaceted with that 2 year deal and why they wanted to take it.
sure,
One, great glue guy, phenomenal on special teams. But if you think that Cooper Cup's play has diminished and you have to move on from him next year, Jake Bobo, as a primary blocking wide receiver, had a two and a half, 2.75, $3 million range type guy, is a good person to have. And we've seen that he can catch the ball at a good clip, especially in the clutch moments. Oh yeah, there was
yeah,
another guy. JSN just signs a extension to become the highest paid wide receiver of all time.
yes, yes, at 42.5 or 1.5. My bad, my bad. APY a year, right? Um, but because highest paid receiver deserves it, and the humble superstar continues, right?
Yeah, he's been out and about on the different media circles this last week, and it's just so nice to, and you're kind of seeing it a little bit more. Granted, yes, you still do have a lot of the wide receiver diva types out there, but you do have a lot of guys that are just really doing it the right way, right? You've got Justin Jefferson, who finally, I think, requested a trade, but has been a guy that's had mediocre at best quarterback play. Hasn't really said anything negative about him. I don't think you can really put Jamar Chase because he's getting balls thrown to him from his best buddy. But look at
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, just the
Yes.
epitome of class. And CD Lamb, you never hear anything about there. You still have your George Pickens, right, of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But the other big thing is getting this extension done before the Puka contract comes into play, which twofold, you lock up an extremely important piece to your team for the future out coming off just a blazing season. But also you're going to be dipping into the Rams pocketbook because everyone expects that Puka is going to be asking for more than
Yeah.
JSN got. So being able to help your team out at a number that actually kind of works out well cap wise for the Hawks and how they're set up right now. Granted, you're going to see some other things like a spoon extension coming here probably before the start of the season, but they're in a good spot to really maneuver this next year. And we will be diving more and more into the draft as we go along, probably looking at a mock draft again next week, and then getting ready for a Seahawks only mock draft and then a final mock draft before we uh, get to the NFL draft. But be prepared to see Mariner stuff every week. We're back in the swing of it and getting our weekly breakdowns in. And if you want something in between, go ahead and give us a follow over on social media. You can find me, your boy, Coach Red, on X at the Real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the Real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. Kane, where you at?
Find me over on Twitter, Kane2406. TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Pause. Do it, freaking do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.